The yard prophet had spent years telling men to dominate their environment. Unfortunately, the environment had filed paperwork. In Miami-Dade County, the performance finally met a form it could not shout over on July 2nd. The man behind the prison yard sermon stood in court and pleaded guilty to aggravated battery in the Elevation Fitness case. The confrontation dated back to December 2024. Surveillance footage, investigators said, showed him striking another man with a weightlifting belt. There had been arguments about provocation. There had been talk of self-defense, online notoriety, and a man who allegedly traveled to confront him. His attorney described unusual circumstances. Courts hear unusual circumstances every day. They keep ordinary forms for them. For years, the yard prophet sold accountability in monthly installments that arrived loud, tattooed, and expensive. It came with coaching calls, rented certainty, and the promise that weak men could become dangerous if they purchased the correct package. Then accountability arrived without a checkout page. It came with boxes to initial. The reported agreement calls for 21 months in prison, with credit for time already served, followed by 7 years of probation and mental health treatment. Sentencing is scheduled for July 27th. Until then, the deal is signed, but the sentence is not yet formally imposed. That distinction matters. A plea is not a rumor, and a proposed sentence is not yet a completed sentencing. The internet prefers conclusions before the clerk finishes typing. The file prefers dates, docket entries, and language boring enough to survive cross-examination. The brand had survived critics, lawsuits, mockery, former followers, and mirrors. The guilty plea was different. It required a signature. There are men who confess because conscience wakes up. There are men who plead because evidence does. The court did not ask which kind of man stood before it. It asked whether he understood the agreement. He said yes. No motivational soundtrack followed, no luxury car rolled into frame, no caption explained that real alphas accept negotiated terms only after dominating the negotiation. There was a courtroom, a lawyer, a judge, and a sequence of questions designed to make sure the answer could not later be sold as a misunderstanding. Somewhere outside the courtroom, the loyalists began the sacred migration from certainty to technicality. It was not defeat, they explained, it was strategy. It was not accountability. It was persecution. It was not folding, it was tactical paper bending under extreme administrative pressure. Skeptic Rad adjusted his press badge. Turns out never fold was not legal advice. The mythology had always depended on volume. Every insult became a lesson. Every confrontation became proof of dominance. Every critic became weak, jealous, broke, soft, or spiritually allergic to luxury automobiles. But courtrooms are poor studios. The lighting is unforgiving. The audience is not required to subscribe. The judge does not care about engagement, and the paperwork does not become frightened when a muscular man raises his voice. The file did not yell. That was its cruelty. It simply waited while the story changed shape around it. First came the posture, then the denial, then the explanation, then the legal argument, then the negotiated plea. The same machine that sold uncompromising masculinity now required its audience to admire compromise as a masterstroke. This is how influencer mythology survives contact with reality. It does not admit collapse. It rebrands the rubble. The yard prophet did not defeat the file. He signed it. And beyond Miami-Dade, another file remains open in Broward County. Those allegations are separate, unresolved, and not proven by this plea. They will be handled separately, soberly, and without turning an alleged victim into scenery for a joke. Season 1 was the circus. Season 2 is the file. The myth had muscles. The paperwork had patience.